Hey everyone, happy Friday. Welcome back to Free Real Estate Fridays. This week we are wrapping up our conversations about fear. And the topic this week is about aging or not. And I loved this topic because it wasn't something that had immediately come to my mind. So I was grateful that for someone else, this was something they had a concern about. So as I started researching what it is about aging that causes fear in people, this is overwhelmingly what showed up. Illness, losing independence, financial strains, those who go on before us, coupled with loneliness, and then mental decline. So these all feel very valid and understandable in terms of why we would, be a little nervous about what's ahead for us. But then when we start to look at it from a perspective of, what about God? What about when He's involved, and how does that change things for us? So as I look through the Bible and I think about stories that I've heard and read about, two particular people came to mind. And the first one was Abraham. Did you know that Abraham was 100 years old when his son was born? This is amazing, right? And his wife right up there with him. And it's interesting to me because we put limitations on things that we can do based on age, but our God does not. Our God had promised Abraham and Sarah a son, and Sarah laughed at the prospect that this son was actually coming. And when I read that, I think, oh my goodness, what was she thinking? How could she laugh at God? But if I'm honest, I laugh at things that I'm told sometimes too. And our faith doesn't always project into everything that God tells us, even though it should. So that's number one, right? Our God is capable. Number two was David. David was the youngest of his brothers. And when it came time for someone to fight the giant, David said, I'll go. And at first they said, no, you can't do that. This person is huge and you're just a little boy. And there's no way that you're capable. And he sort of gave him his resume. He said, I fought this lion that came for my sheep. I am qualified and I'm going to go. And what I think is even more awesome is that they sort of girded him with all of this armor. And when he went to go, move, he couldn't even carry it. And he said, forget it. This is not me. This is not what I need. I know what I need. And he grabbed his 5 stones. And so we are the ones who put limits in terms of age on what we can do. Not our God. Our God is capable of anything. So the other piece of this is that life comes with seasons. And each season in our life comes with a purpose. And if we are, understanding of what that purpose is, it kind of changes our perspective and how we look at what we're going through. So 2 more characters. Gosh, I just love these stories. And I have to tell you, I've heard them all my life. And as life changes for me, as my season changes, as my purpose changes, these stories become so new and so wonderful and so different to me. So let's talk about Noah. Noah, I think a lot of us could connect with. And I think we could connect with Noah because of this. Noah spent a lot of his time doing the same thing. He spent a good portion of his life building this ark, right? Some of us feel like every day is mundane. We go to work, we go to sleep. We go to work, we go to sleep. And there might be some fun stuff in between there. We can get overwhelmed. We can feel stressed. We can feel just like meh. But when we know what we are doing and why we are doing it, it creates a whole new sense for us. Noah didn't give up. And I'm sure there were moments he was ready. But at the end of the time that God had appointed, Noah's purpose was fulfilled. Noah didn't let how old he was get in his way. Noah didn't say, I'm too tired, I can't move anymore. Our God will provide for every season of what our purpose is. And then I want to talk about Jesse in the pool of Bethesda. Jesse is someone who was going through some extremely physical ailments, and he had done so for a very long time. And he had waited by this pool just so that he could be the first one in the water, so that he could be healed. And he spent a long time there. And what's interesting about Jesse is finally Jesus met him where he was. Jesse never got into the water, but he spent his whole time waiting there. A lot of us do that, don't we? We spend our whole time just waiting for something to happen. What if Jesse had gone out and been telling people about this amazing God of his? And then when Jesus chose to heal him, how powerful could that have been? So let's think about using our time wisely. We're going to have ailments, and some of them will be worse than others, I understand. But if we take what we're given and we ask the Lord, Lord, how can I use this for your good? How can I help people see you through me? Don't let it be about my physical or my mental or my emotional. Don't let it be that. How can I use it for your good? So in Hebrews 12, chapter 1 and verse 2, it says, run your race, let the author and finisher be our focus. And I'm paraphrasing. But essentially, run your race. Know what your race is to run and let Jesus be the focus of it. Don't let the concerns over our physical abilities, over our financial abilities, over emotional things. If we focus on what Jesus has for us to do, he will give us everything that we need to do it. Matthew 6:33-34 says this, take no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. I pray that all of you would just trust that in whatever season you are in and whatever season you're about to go through, Jesus is there with you. He will help you. He will get you to the end of your race. And let's maximize on what we can do to help build his kingdom. Lord, I just pray for those out there today who might be going through something, Lord, that they just need your help and your guidance with. I pray that they would come to you, that they would ask you for all that they need, Lord, and that they would just be receptive to running the race that you have given them. We thank you so much for being here today. Pray that you would have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.